Good morning. I'm just here getting some paintings ready for the pop-up shop and thought it might be quite interesting to show you the process that I'm going through. Our kitchen has been a workshop for the past week or so, getting them ready, and I love this stage. It's quite particular, they're quite clear stages, and you can only do so much at one time because you have big gaps in the middle, so it's quite different to the intuitiveness of doing the paintings, and I love the contrast. So let's get on. This is literal fresh paint. This was painted last night. It's a painting of a sunrise over the North Sea with a wee cheeky rainbow in there. So we take this, which is acrylic on board, and then we get a panel. So this is a wooden cradled panel. Technically you can hang these straight away onto nails, but I'm going to make sure there's brass fittings in the back of these for the ones at the pop-up shop. The sides have been sealed and left for 3 days before these get painted white. And then the next stage is we stick a bunch of special glue on here, line up the painting, put some of this on top to make sure that things don't get stuck and the paint is protected. Get a wee brayer roller, swishy, 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 roly, roly, roly. Make sure that we've got all the air bubbles out of there. And then stack a pile of really heavy books on top. So that's really important. Thankfully, art books are really heavy, so there's plenty kicking about. And then we leave that for at least 24 hours, don't touch it at all. After that time, this is what we get. So you can see these are stuck on fast and they look pretty smart. I'm really happy with these. I'm gonna be really sad to see them go, but that's the reality of it. So the next stage is we sign it and then do an isolation coat. Now this is really important. What this does is if we varnish on top and then say it's hanging up in your living room for 30 years, 40 years, whatever, and you start to it gets a bit dusty and things like that, and you get a wee bit of discoloration in the varnish, which, you know, it happens over time sometimes, then you might want to take it to a specialist and get it stripped back. If you don't have an isolation coat on your acrylic paintings, you can't strip them back. The varnish, the stuff that you take off the varnish will also start eating into the paint, so you'll lose some of the painting underneath. So this just protects them basically for longevity. I said 30 years, but that's a very short time to get your painting stripped, probably more like 80. And that's it. So I don't have any that have been varnished yet, but this one's going to be varnished tomorrow. This stage has to wait for 3 days. So it's 3 days for this bit here, then paint it, 24 hours. This stage, isolation coat, 3 days, and then we can varnish it. And the varnish has to sit for at least 24 hours before it can leave here. The other thing we're going to have is some prints. I started the print run last night, doing some tester prints, and I'm really happy with these. And what you can't tell from this one, because I've cut it, so they're exactly the same size as these, but also when I scanned it in, I've scanned in the edges and I've made sure I've kept them here. So any marks that there are, any smudges, you know, any of those lovely little bits that kind of give it character are also going to be in here, which you can see. And they've turned out really quite well. Yeah, I'm happy with these. Okie doke. Right, hope you have a good weekend and pop along to the pop-up shop if you're in the area. Bye.